Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I am Ryan Bolin. Thank you all for joining me. Now, this is crazy right here. This video just shows you that people are getting tired of being victimized by thugs and criminals. Situation happened in Chicago the other day where and it's on a camera. I actually saw the footage. In fact, well, you can go to the description box below, look up the title for this particular article, and you can watch that 47-second video for yourself if you haven't seen it. But this guy comes into a jewelry store. Armed robber comes into a jewelry store. He's walking down the aisle, and he just takes his fist and just starts banging into the glass to try to take jewelry. A concealed carry merchant employee opens fire on his tail. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but that's what he did. He opened fire on his tail, and to make it literal, he literally opened fire on his tail because he shot him, I think, a couple of times in the chest, and then once in the rear, in his buttocks. Yeah, So let's get right into this article because, I'm going to say something about this, needless to say, but this is what happens when you live in a society and a community where crime is just off the chain, is just off the maps. People are getting tired of being victimized, okay? Anyway, a Chicago jewelry store employee with a concealed carry permit opened fire on an alleged robber just before 11 a.m. Saturday morning, striking him with at least 2 bullets. CW Chicago reported the alleged 27-year-old robber walked to a jewelry case near the store's front door and allegedly swung at it in order to smash the glass. And the video shows it. He just boom, boom, boom. You'll see it. As this was happening, a man behind the counter draws a pistol, racks the slide, and fires as the alleged thief appears to be turning towards the door. The alleged robber then falls out of the door. Now, somebody may be asking, what do you mean by alleged robber? Alleged robber, because I don't know if the guy actually got anything. And they're saying alleged because maybe he was just angry at the people and he's just angry at the world. So he decides to start trying to smash his fist against the glass. Yeah, you could argue that. But at any rate, whatever his intent, the robber's intentions was, the store employee wasn't having it because this occurred right near where the store employee was. What do you think he's going to do? Anyway, the alleged robber then falls out of the door, but quickly reaches back inside to pick up something that he dropped. Maybe it was his gun. I'm saying this is me. Maybe it was his gun. Maybe it was something else. I don't know. He then ran to the L platform, suffering from a gunshot wound to the abdomen and one to the buttocks. Yeah. The alleged robber was released from custody Sunday, but CBS News noted charges, quote, are pending. Christine lives near the jewelry store, and she told CBS News, quote, I think to throw all the responsibility on the business owners or the residents is really not the right way to go. And end quote. And I can't help but wonder who's throwing all the responsibility on the business owners. Can't be anyone but some far leftist liberal lunatic reporter or journalist or politician saying crazy stuff. What would you do in a situation like that? That's what bothers me about these liberals, these far leftist liberals. Yes, because I'm the only ones for the most part that talk like that. Because they all hoorah for the criminals. They all hoorah for the criminals because they're just suffering from poverty and they're just all this other foolishness. And when someone gets hurt or someone's life is taken, you know what I'm saying? They don't want to say nothing about the innocent person's life that's been taken by this hoodlum. They don't want to say nothing about that. But God forbid if you shoot or hurt the criminal. Oh, no, don't do that. They're oppressed. They're suffering from poverty. They're excused from what they're doing because the pressure of struggling financially is what's causing them to do this. Man, come on. Let's go on. Let's go on. I mean, the statement, I think, to throw all the responsibility on the business owners or the residents is really not the right way to go. Makes me think that this individual heard some news from someone else putting this responsibility on the business owners. Now by responsibility down, what do you mean? Like, well, how was this person able to get in there, or you should have had some kind of I don't know, measure of security or whatever, or this person, one of the employees shooting the alleged robber. Is that what this person is talking? Is that what Christine is talking about? I don't know, but whatever the case may be, whoever came up with this idea that the responsibility is on the business owners you're right. You're actually right. That's not the right way to go. Okay, let's go on. Let's go on. She added, quote, "The crime is just escalating. It is getting worse and worse. We had kids killed a few weeks ago. Now this armed robbery, it's a shame." Absolutely. It is a shame. And that's the end of that article. Yeah, it is a shame. But yeah, I mean, here's the deal. People are getting tired of being robbed. They're getting tired of being victimized. They're getting tired of being assaulted. They're just getting tired. And we don't need to go over how violent Chicago is. Do we need to go over that? I don't think we do. We don't need to go over that. I mean, I don't live in Chicago, okay? But I have read up on, some articles on the violence that's escalated in Chicago. A lot of this violence is based on gang violence. Okay, I get it. But violence is violence. Doesn't matter if it's gang violence or not. Violence is violence, okay? The point is according to these resources, violence is escalating in Chicago as it is in my own city in Cleveland. But we ain't gonna even go there, right? We ain't gonna even go there. That's what tends to be the case with these Democratic-led cities. But at any rate, people are getting sick and tired of being victimized and terrorized by thugs and criminals. Now, somebody may argue, well, when you look at the video, somebody may argue, the person with the gun didn't have to shoot this person, this alleged robber. They didn't have to shoot him because all this person was doing was banging on the glass as hard as he could to get at whatever it was he was trying to get at. But it's easier said than done. What would you do, Mr. or Mrs. Morality? What would you do in a situation just like that? What would you do? I can surmise that the person, that employee with the concealed permit, okay, to carry that gun, I could surmise that they did so. They shot at this person because they were terrified. They were terrified because even though the alleged robber was on the opposite side of where the employee was on, the employee was behind the counter, needless to say, this person just walks up and all of a sudden turns around and starts banging on the glass as hard as he can. What do you think that's going to do? That's going to put a person in shell shock. It's going to shell shock that person. You're either going to do what is called fight or flight. You can run or you can retaliate. I think this person just retaliated because they had the means to retaliate. And they retaliated. I'm going to be real with you. I don't feel sorry for the alleged robber. I do not feel sorry for him at all. I do not feel sorry for him. There is no excuse for robbing people of their goods. Get a job, earn a living like other Americans. Doesn't matter what your race is. Get a job, go to school or something. Do something to better yourself. It's too many opportunities out here for people to make excuses for themselves. I don't feel sorry for anyone who sees that there are ways out of the detriment that they're in, and they refuse to fix the situation. They refuse to make the decision to say, hey, I'm getting sick and tired of being like this. Let me get out of this. Now, I get it. Certain people need psychological help. I get it. Certain people need that extra oomph, if you will, to motivate them, to get them to get up and do something with their life, because sometimes the problems of life hit you so much and so often that you just give up psychologically. You're tired psychologically. I get that. I've been there. So I know what that feels like. Okay. But when people give you all of that and you still refuse to try to find a way out of your situation and you suffer the consequences of that, I do not feel sorry for you. Because it's too many opportunities out here for people to better their life. We may be having high inflation and all this other stuff, but there's still schools out here. There's still welfare programs. There's still all this kind of stuff going on. There's all of these kind of things going on out here all these kind of avenues right here. That can assist people and help people better their life. Okay, America is the most freest country in the world. I don't want to hear all this mess about America. I don't care about this being no Black History Month. People talking about, oh, this Black History Month. Why you think like that? I don't think like this. I know this. Okay, I don't want to hear that because at the end of the day, anyone who's been living here in America for any amount of time, okay, whether you was born and raised in America, or whether you migrated over here and you've been over here for a while or whatever, look. You should know by now that there are a ton of opportunities out there to better your life. People in America, for the most part, all right, are not a success like they should be because of decisions that they should have made and didn't make, or decisions that they made that were detrimental to their life, and now they're suffering the consequences of that. That happens to all of us. It happens to me. It happens to all of us. But because we live in a country where we have a ton of opportunities to say, hey, you know what? I can fix this situation. I may need the assistance of someone. I may need some encouragement every now and then. But for the most part, I have the ability to choose to do something about my circumstances. When you have those opportunities, which are made available to us in America, then there is no excuse. As I said, things happen to people. And I don't want to sound like I'm being overly harsh or non-compassionate upon, because I've had situations happen to me, then I share those situations. People, they be looking at me buck-eyed, like a deer caught in the headlight, because they can't believe I went through all of that. I did. But guess what? Number one, I had God on my side, but I know most people ain't gonna want to do, And when I say God, I'm not talking about some generic God. I'm talking about God in Jesus Christ. That works for me. And sometimes I'll share that with people, okay? But you don't have to be a Christian and you don't have to be religious to be successful in life. We all know that. There are some of the most atheistic people in this country are successful, at least in the spirit and the physical realm. Why? Because of decisions they made and taking the advice of others that help them matriculate through the obstacles in their life that help them reach their goals. Because we all are going to have obstacles. I hear people say this all the time. Well, man, I don't want to, if I try to better myself, the white man going to push me down and he going to do this. And I'm saying, and I remember someone sharing that with me. And I said, well, you're projecting something on yourself that hasn't even happened. You saying that, I'm suggesting to this person, and I don't want to give the name or whatever, but I'm suggesting to this person, well, you know what? This is what you need to do. You can do this, you can do this, and do this. I'm giving them this advice because this is what I had to do. And you know what they said to me? Oh man, ain't not gonna happen because ain't not gonna happen. The minute I put my foot forward, the white man gonna knock it back down. And I'm saying to myself, first of all, I asked myself a question. I said, the circumstance you're dealing with right now, did the white man make it that way? And he looked at me stupid. He looked at me stupid. I said, you're projecting something on yourself that hasn't even happened yet. You're saying if you put your foot forward to try to better yourself, the white man going to knock it back down. What? Where? Where is he? You're harping worrying on yourself. You're harping mental trauma on yourself when it hasn't even happened yet. You're worried about something in the future that's been projected in your messed up head by messed up people that hasn't even happened yet. And see, this is what happens, man, when we listen to the mainstream leftist liberal media, when we listen to these politicians, these liberal politicians, yeah, when we listen to these liberal Marxist professors and school teachers pumping that victim mentality on us, then it's no wonder people think like this. It's no wonder people in the hood think this way. It's no wonder people who are poor in general think this way, because we've been programmed and conditioned to think that if we don't have a lot of money, we don't have this and we don't have that, we're just not going to be successful. Failing to realize that if we do a little studying, we find out that a ton of people started off with nothing and ended up being some of the most successful people in history. Yes, they had oppositions. Yes, they had problems, insurmountable opposition. But somehow they made it through. Now, the last I checked, we're all human beings on this earth. Every last one of us, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter. We're human beings, and if you cut one person, they're going to bleed red blood. If you cut an Asian, they're going to bleed red blood. If you cut a black, they're going to bleed red blood. If you cut a white, they're going to bleed red blood. It's the same thing. So based off of just that little bit of similarity there, I would surmise that anyone who puts forth the effort can be successful if they really want to be. No excuses. This situation that happened to this person, he got shot. I'm sorry that it happened. I hated that it happened, but he had it coming. He had it coming. People are tired of being victims. Do something with yourself, bro. Person that got shot, hopefully he didn't die. Doesn't seem he did. And I'm thankful for that, because that'd have been stupid. You'd have died over something stupid. Wanting to be a thug, wanting to be a robber, instead of getting you a job and bettering your life, you want to be a thug. Now you got smoked. Now what? Get a job or go to school or whatever, better your life. You don't have to go to the route that you went to. You don't. There's always opportunities in this great country that we live in. It may not be perfect, but it is the best country in this world. All except for the Biden administration is screwing it up, but you get my point. Yeah. So that's what I had to say about that. Yeah, it is what it is. What do you guys think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.